It's hard to be perfect when you're working on being perfect.
You know. All right, we're back after a perfect week. Called it all perfect last week. You know, my predictions. Just give me the crystal ball, baby. What's up?
You're calling it perfect week. I'm just calling it weak. I'm over here pumping iron and drinking Prips. Prips, the energy drink to get your biceps going, gets you in the game.
Prips, the thing that fuels the perfect predictions. So we got a few decent matchups this week, a lot of playoff implications, and just an absolutely wild AFC field. Mike, you want to take us through the games we're going to cover this week?
Yeah, so right off the bat, Dirk, let's go Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. The AFC North bloodbath continues. Dirk, is the Browning story going to continue to roll? And what do you make of this guy? Is he a real thing?
You know, it's the year of the backup QB, right? And if you can have a decent backup QB like Browning, it sure makes those quarterback contracts come into question.
That it does. If Cincy is winning with Browning at quarterback, you know, if San Francisco can pull it with Brock Purdy in multiple years, why are you going to give Josh Allen $55 million?
Why you guys single out Josh, man? Like, what about Mahomes?
Well, I mean, Pat Mahomes, also $55 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, Dirk. The funny part is the Bengals are not going to the Super Bowl this year. That's why you give quarterbacks money. So in this particular game, though, since he has been on a roll, Pittsburgh is in Mitch Trubisky land. What do you think, Dirk?
Yeah, you got to absolutely take the Bengals in this matchup. I like the Bengals in December, and I do not like what's coming out of what used to be Heinz Field or Pittsburgh. Honestly, I think there's a lot of pressure on Tomlin, even though he's still putting, plus 500 ball together. I really think that there's going to be a lot of pressure, and I think they'll probably move on from Pickett in the future. I just don't see a good matchup here. The fans hate Trubisky. I mean, it's tough to watch those games. It's been tough all season, but it's really tough to watch the Pittsburgh games.
Well, Dirk, you know what? We're pumping iron here in the gym, but I'm taking the Steel City in this one. Pittsburgh gets a very random victory in this game, but the NFL sometimes is fueled by randomness. I don't think the Bengals are good enough to keep this going. I'm going to pick Pittsburgh in a weird upset. So that they keep it rolling. They get an actual win. Let's go with that. Moving on, though, another team with big AFC North implications, the Cleveland Browns taking on the Houston Texans. This game goes a long way towards deciding the playoffs. Dirk, what do you think?
I'm taking Falco.
Oh, no.
Falco and the replacements, because quite literally that might as well be the team at this point. I mean, we're going to pick against the Browns. I'm just going to say that as much as possible. And one of the few years when if I take the Browns every time just because I'm a fan, I actually am doing pretty damn well this season. So taking the Browns in this one, I just think you have a complete depletion of what was a decent Houston team. You can only pull out so many bunnies out of a hat before you just are out of bunnies.
How many bunnies? Don't they multiply? I'm gonna stick with the Browns in this one as well, Dirk. It is a fascinating showdown of ex-Broncos quarterbacks, Casey Keenum and Joe Flacco, but Cleveland is the better team. And the Browns actually take a good step towards the playoffs in winning this game. If they pull this one out, they're very close to locking up a berth. So Cleveland takes it for me as well. Let's go to the next one, which is Dallas and Miami. And Dirk, Buffalo put a Buffalo butt kicking on the Cowboys last week. Can they get back on track?
Actually, I'm going to say they don't get back on track, and here's the clincher, okay? All of the losses Dallas has this year is on the road. Now, I know it's a little different when you go to Buffalo and playing in winter conditions in, December and going down to Miami in December. It's a little bit different, but if they're not at Jerry's World, I don't favor the Cowboys. Now, I still like the team. I'm not a Dallas hater, but I do not like them on the road. I see Miami doing pretty decent in this one, with or without Tyreek Hill, coming out with the victory.
Dirk, did you say Buffalo? We're getting pretty buff in here right now. Here's the low. I think it really depends on if Tyreek Hill is available for this one, but if he goes, I like Miami to put it together. I think the Dolphins right now still have a shot to get back into the 1 seed in the driver's seat, but more importantly, they are backs against the wall with Buffalo chasing them for that AFC East division crown. So I'm going to pick Miami in this one. Final game of the week, and it's probably the biggest game of the regular season as far as records. In fact, is it a Super Bowl preview? Might be a little early to say on that one. But Baltimore and San Francisco, the big one. Who do you like, Dirk?
Okay, can I just say, anytime San Francisco plays someone that's like plus 500, it just gets previewed as, is this the Super Bowl matchup so long as it's an AFC team? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how many times have we heard this type of thing? So I'm going to go ahead and take 49ers. I think you got to take the 49ers as the favorites for the Super Bowl as they look right now. And it has nothing to do with Purdy. That team is just the best built team. If there is an MVP, it's John Lynch for putting together one of the most tremendous rosters that's been around in the last 30 years. I can't think of another team that has been this well put together since maybe the '98 Broncos.
Oof.
So, just saying.
Take a look. Soak it in.
Yeah, so anyways.
Take your
49ers in this one, and not only do they win in this one, they're going to win by 20.
Oh, man, you're going 49ers big. I think Baltimore's defense is tough, but I don't like them in this game. I think you're right, Dirk. I think San Francisco wins a nail-biter. I think the Ravens, though, are a dangerous postseason team. That's a conversation for a different video, but I'm going to go ahead and agree with you on this one. 49ers, and we'll also get into MVP talk on the next one, and I'll work on my talk and articulating it. But first, more Prips.